Joining us now,
Thank
look who's here. We are so excited to have Virginia Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears. The Lieutenant Governor has been outspoken against the government attacking school board parents in the state of Virginia. It's great to have you back on. What is your reaction to that report? Democrats in the White House are dismissing the hearing today as just a political stunt.
I'm going to tell you, Liz, that from where I sit, here's how I see it. I don't care about FBI Director Wray. I don't care about Attorney General Garland. As you know, the way I see them, they're peons compared to the president. So I'm talking directly to the president. Mr. President, you hired these people and rehired Wray. You are responsible. The American people want you to come out, sir, and say that the buck stops with you, that you are going to get to the bottom of this and find out whether this is true or not. And if it's true, you're going to take decisive action. Because we heard during the State of the Union, Mr. President, that you said you get it. You said you hear us. Do you? Do you get it? Are you hearing us, or was that just a speech? So, Mr. President, this is on you, and you need to get to the bottom of this, sir. That's what leadership does.
So, Lieutenant Governor, we haven't seen the evidence of what came out of these investigations targeting school board parents as threats at school board meetings and prosecuting them when appropriate. That's what the DOJ and AG wanted to do. That's what the FBI director wanted to do. They were using counterterrorism assets to do that. Have you seen any evidence that the school board parents were a threat in any way? I mean, they were upset. We're showing video of a school board parent angry and furious that his daughter was raped at a high school, and then that rapist was then alleged was put to another school, and there was a cover-up of that. Can you talk about all of that? What I just said?
This is the very nature of why I said we need the president to come out to the American people and say, I represent all of you, and if I were a parent, I would want to know if my FBI, if my Department of Justice is against me. And we don't care about the congressmen who are bloviating about if this is true, if that is true. Mr. President, this is on you. This is your watch. You are the president of the nation, and you've got to take responsibility, sir. You just have to, because you see, parents tried to get to a school board meeting to say, my daughter was raped, and it didn't have to happen. But because of policies that people who are gone rogue on school boards my daughter wasn't safe. Help me, sir. That was a parent crying out, an American citizen crying out for his government for redress. Imagine that, for redress. And he was hauled away like a dog. We need our president to come before a camera and say, this is it. I am doing the investigating. I have heard you.
But
That's
he's not doing that.
Hear.
But he's not doing that.
We want somebody to be accountable.
But he's not doing that.
You know, instead of trying to figure out how to run for re-election, how about you do the job you have now, sir? Let's get that done right. And then maybe you can think about 2024. You've got a job now. Do that job and prove that you're capable. That's all we want. That's all the people want. The people want accountable government. The people want responsible government. How difficult can that be? That shouldn't be controversial. That's not a Democrat talking point, a Republican talking point. That's a common sense, non-chaotic, sensible talking point.
Lieutenant Governor, we'd like to please get your reaction to the fireworks over what happened with school board parents in today's judiciary hearing. Let's listen to this. Watch.
In my time in Congress, I have never seen anything like this. Dozens and dozens of whistleblowers, FBI agents coming to us, talking about what's going on, the political nature at the Justice Department.
Attorney General Garland charged his newly created domestic terrorism unit with targeting those who hold, quote, anti-authority views. That included parents who dared to protest at Board of Education meetings, concerned and standing up for the right for themselves to have a say in their children's education.
Do you consider parents as domestic terrorists?
I do not consider parents as domestic terrorists. No, I do not.
This was a setup, and it was the setup, and it's the real definition of weaponization of the government against the American people. And it's not just this example of targeting parents at School Boards Association. It goes back to the opening of Crossfire Hurricane. It goes back to the faulty FISA application. It goes back to what we heard on that first panel from Senators Grassley and Johnson. It goes back to the suppression illegally of the Hunter Biden laptop story paid for by the U.S. taxpayers.
Congresswoman Stefanik was talking and getting testimony from a former FBI agent there. So the reaction today uniformly has been there's a real sickness inside the DOJ and FBI when you see what happened. I mean, the weaponization is significantly hurting school board parents. So far, again, the DOJ, FBI, they haven't given the public any update on these investigations, Lieutenant Governor, nor any real-life examples of parents making threats against school boards. There's, unruly conduct and the like, but we haven't seen the threats yet.
Nobody has seen, they don't exist. These are just regular folks wanting to understand what happened at school. That's all there is to it. What happened to my daughter? What policies are you enacting that are against me as I'm trying to raise my children a different way? And this is why, one reason why I put together the Education Savings Account bill, so that parents can finally have the opportunity to decide where to send their children to school. Because if this is the kind of government that we're getting, then just give me my tax money so that I can make a decision for my child. That's it.
That sounds like a great idea. We'll be on that story. Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears, a pleasure and an honor having you on tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.